Alright guys, I want to point to you everything that I have done and everything that I plan. This shall be fun. So this is a 2008 Yamaha R6. As you can see, I have, I don't know if you can see that, 8249 on here. I bought it just under 3,000 miles and I put a decent amount on it. Alright, so pretty much my first, what was my first upgrade? Honestly, I don't even know. I bought a whole bunch of different parts. I think one of the first things that I did was put on the frame sliders. One of the first things that I did was put on the frame sliders. I honestly can't tell you what brand they are. I don't really know myself, but I saw them. They're carbon fiber, and I thought they looked pretty badass. So I got that one, and I got that one. So those have been on there. Like I said, those are probably one of the first things that I've done. I do have Leo Vinci carbon fiber engine, clutch case cover, and the other one on the other side. Can't remember what it's called. I also have Psycho Pirate's foot controls, clutch lever, and brake lever on the other side. However, that little peg that's supposed to be right here has fallen off. I had a little problem with the sensor in my rear brake. I'll tell you guys about that here in a second. So I constantly had to keep pulling up on my foot, and I think that just kind of loosened it up. Either that, or it was just because I kept using it. I don't know, but it fell off, and I haven't gotten around to replacing it yet. So, one of the other things I did was put on the GYTR Yamaha aftermarket slip-on, and I think it sounds badass. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the chrome, but for the most part it works. I already bought that one, and then I found out that they made a all black one, so I just didn't even worry about it. I also have the driven D-axis rear spools, which help me, oh, don't look at that, which help me lift the bike when I need to do work on it. I have a PSR adjustable kickstand, which I think this thing is freaking awesome. It works so great. I never have any problems with it. I guess the only thing that I can say about it is that the spring, the tension on the spring is a little looser. So when I kick it up, it doesn't automatically go all the way up. It just, goes most of the way, and then I just have to make sure that when I do kick it up, I bring my foot up and hit it up. Just that little extra bit. Other things that I've done. Put on Kiryakin grips, which I think these things are great. I know they look like they're supposed to be for cruisers, but in my opinion, I think they work great on this. I mean, they're a little rubbery, so, they provide a softer grip. I mean, they are very thick, but I don't mind that at all. That doesn't bother me one bit. I have CRG shorty levers, brake, and clutch. And I think the shorty levers are so much better than the full levers, just because, I have small hands for one, and two, I don't need all that extra space for the levers. You're just grabbing it for a second. You don't need to, I don't know, in my opinion, you don't need to grab the whole thing. Along with the jitter slip-on, the most recent thing I have done was put on MJS racing headers. You can kind of see, I don't know if you guys can see them in there, but you can kind of see them. Let's see if I can move this. There you go. Give you a better view. You can kind of see them in there. They sound amazing. They work amazing. It just makes the bike sound so much better, in my opinion. I've also put on driven gas cap, and I think I think it makes the bike look better instead of that silver piece. You know, it's got the black and you can add the accent colors. When I first got the jitter slip-on, I figured the bike wasn't going to be running, you know, completely all that well. Actually, for a while it did. It ran perfectly fine, but then all of a sudden it started puttering really weird, and I don't know what the problem was. So what I did is I went and bought Dynajet Power Commander 5, the fuel injection module, and then after I bought the MJS headers, well, actually while I bought the MJS headers, I also bought the Dynajet Auto Tune, and both of them have saved my bike from not working so much. It has helped my bike run great ever since. Another thing I did, these are just really cheap. They don't really fit. I mean, they fit fine, but they kind of leave little gaps. If you can see that, you know, usually the dust covers right here, they'll fit right on there. These are kind of off, but it still looks cool. It's carbon fiber. I just like them, so I picked them up. All right, I know you guys pretty much already saw it. I don't know if I can really block this off from you guys. Does that work? I think that might work. Yes, no, maybe so. Oh, perfect. Yes. Okay. So, as I was talking about, I did put on black passenger rear sets. You know, I didn't want people to not be able to see me when I hit my brakes, because I mean, you know, you're back like this. I mean, you almost can't really see that. You know, you get down like this, you can see it a lot better. But even when you're up like this, it's kind of hard to see the taillight. And even when the brake's on, let's see if you can see this. You know what I mean? So what I did is I had seen this online, and I had picked up some black rear sets, passenger rear sets, and I put these LED strips on them and wired them. Oh, God, don't look at this. It's filthy. I rigged them up to go off whenever I hit the rear brake. So now on both sides, they work along with the brake, and I just think it looks cool. All right, so that's everything that I've done to the bike performance-wise. Nothing else that I really want to do for performance. I'm pretty sure that's about it. Next thing I want to do, though, is actually I'll show you some of the scratches. I mean, you see this, all this right here, all that. You know, up here isn't too bad, but I mean, if you look, there's like spider cracks on it, and you know, if you really dig into these fairings, like all the stuff really starts coming apart. Like a lot of stuff's broken. Actually, like these main pieces are fine, but it's this piece and this. I mean, look how scratched up that is. But then look at this. There's nothing holding that on there. There's like I got one screw peg going in there that's holding that on there. And I mean, thankfully the seat's also holding it on there too. But this is fine, really. There's almost nothing wrong with this back part right here. So yeah, I mean, fixing the fairings is one thing I want to do. I would like to get OEM fairings. Unfortunately, a piece like this alone is like $240 or $270, and it's just insane. And all I want to do is just fix those, you know, a couple scratches. And I think same with this. I mean, if you have like an 08 or I think anything similar to that, right around those couple of years, you know, there's this big piece right here that's like half of the fairing. You know, it's one giant piece. And I think that's another $240, $270, which really sucks. But you know what? That's something that I'm going to do over time, and I know eventually it's going to look phenomenal. I think I'm going to stick with yellow. I think I'll keep going. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the yellow, but you know, sometimes that's just the way it is. And then I also want to put on driven rear sets. They're black. Maybe I'll put a link up here for you. They're black, and you can add accents just like the same color blue like this, and like the gas tank hole gas cap. Jesus, why couldn't I think of that? Just like the driven gas cap. Same colors like the CRG levers, and you know it'll look really good. They'll be black, and then the little blue accent. You can adjust this. You can adjust your footrest, which I think is fantastic because you know I find myself putting my feet up on, like, the balls of my feet up on the peg rather than, you know, like the arch of my foot, or, you know, having my foot kind of laying or farther down. For me, that's just more comfortable. And if I can find the right position with those driven the driven rear sets, then, you know, I think I could have such a better comfortable ride. Such a more comfortable ride? What? How do I say that? I have no idea. Okay, anyway. So that's about it. Two more things. Once I get all the fairings set, I do want to get the Joe Florida's LED, 90 strip LED kit, and the multicolor kit. I think it's $170 for it, which is fantastic. So many different settings. I've looked up so many videos on it of people putting it on their bikes, and it just looks amazing. It's so cool. You can change the colors, you can change the pattern, you know, it can go through the rainbow. I think there's, I don't know, like 9 colors or something like that. And then another thing I want to do is get the BK Moto halo lights, which is really going to cost a pretty penny. But I've seen quite a few other videos. I've been on their website so much, I know exactly what I want to do for the headlights. Because right now I just have you know, the regular headlamps, but I put in the white HID lights, or bulbs, I should say. So I mean, it's bright. It works fine. I don't mind it, but I would just like to have a little more customization going on. I would also like to get something I can do. I'm going to put a little LED strip here in the third eye. Make it light up blue. Get some blue going. So that is everything that I have done to the bike. When I bought it, it was completely stock. There was nothing else on it except for the windshield. The windshield was aftermarket, and the fender eliminator kit was put on. So none of that was by me. However, those were the only 2 things that were on there. So, alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this. It's really cool talking about my bike and you know, showing you guys what I got. And if you have any other questions, please let me know. I can put a description of everything that I have in the link below. I don't know if you can see my hand or not. Put it down there, and you know, I will let you guys know what I have and what else is to come. All right, that wraps it up. I will see you guys at the next video. Deuces. Oh, one other thing. I almost forgot. I also want to get a driven triple tree. This thing, replace this. I think it'll just look cooler. I think it's like cut. I think they're cut shapes out of there. I don't remember. It's been a long time. Okay, so I think that's it. That should be it. I think that's it. If not, I'll let you know. All right, later. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but you see how it's bouncing around? See the RPM needle? bouncing like that. That's only because the auto-tune hasn't kicked in yet. I have it set to run after about 30 seconds before it really kicks in. It's starting to smooth out a little bit, just because the air-to-fuel ratio hasn't been properly inducted yet. See, it calmed down. It's running at 1,400 RPM, roughly around there, 1,350, 13. Yeah, that's about what I got it at. So those are the benefits of the fuel injector mod and the auto-tune. I knew it. I knew I'd figure it out. Okay. That's it, folks. That's all, folks. Later.